Hello and welcome back to the Happy Accidental Gardener channel. My name is Estelle. I am your Happy Accidental Gardener. Thanks for stopping by. There's just a lot to get done, so no real intro today. Let's just get started. This is my straw bale garden. Now, in a previous video, you saw me wrestling everything into place. The bales have now been conditioned. It took about 12 days. And then we had a whole lot of rain and I wasn't able to get outside and put up the chicken wire barrier that keeps out the groundhogs, possums, and other smaller critters. Nor was I able to put up the deer net. Let me see if I can have that show up there, the deer net. I'm actually short 3 panels. So as you can see, there's no deer net in front of me. There's no deer net in this panel here. And then the area where the entrance to the garden area is going to be, there's no deer net there as well. I have to run to the local big box store and buy some. And of course, this is the day my car's in the shop, so I don't have access to do any real running around. You see there's the rope trellis. The cucumbers are going back there. The tomatoes will be next to it. You see I have my strawberry beds here already. There's a blueberry bed. I've moved one of the fruit trees in, one of the younger peach trees. In that bed back there, there will be corn, pole beans, and squash. Peppers will be here next to the cucumbers. Onions will go in these 2 beds. Melons and what else? Peanuts will go here. Melons will go in these 2 beds. Peanuts will go here. And then back here we'll have sweet potatoes, which are not ready to go in yet. I usually put my sweet potatoes in the 1st or 2nd week of June. So I have sweet potato cuttings in the house so that I can get some sweet potato slips. The melon seeds are not ready to go in quite yet. They do like consistently warm weather. And we've just now started getting nights that are consistently above 40 degrees. As I said, sweet potatoes will go here and white potatoes will go here. These are the potatoes that I will be planting, the white potatoes. I have red Norland, I have blue. I also have Yukon Gold, russet, and Eva. I think this is the russet and this is the Eva. Don't quote me on that. Only because when I brought them home, I knew which was which, and then I forgot because I didn't label them properly. And the only 2 that are very easy to recognize are the red Norland and the blue. You do see them cut here, so each piece has a few eyes on it. And I'm going to leave them out here a couple days. They may get nibbled on by squirrels. I hope not, so that they can kind of scab over before I plant them, which is why their cut sides are up. The only ones that won't be cut are the blues. Because they're so tiny, I can plant them whole. The thing about planting potatoes is to know whether or not they are determinate, which is the potatoes that give you kind of one shallow layer. You can plant them in about 6 inches of soil and you don't have to hill them at all. You do get fewer potatoes from that harvest, but it is a guaranteed set harvest. Indeterminate potatoes, they grow in layers, so the more you hill them, the more you put soil or straw around their stem, the more layers of potatoes you'll get. The internet is a great source of information. It's also a great source of confusion because some lists have red Pontiac and red Norland on determinate. Some have them on split lists. Some have them both on indeterminate. So when it comes to planting these in the bales, I'm going to get them down as far as I can get them. And we'll see what happens. Square foot gardening is a great method to use with straw bale gardening. Each straw bale is approximately 3 feet long. So you've got 3 sections in each bale. Once you know how many plants you can put per square foot, you use that same methodology across all your bales. So for instance, we were just talking about white potatoes. With straw bale gardening and square foot gardening, they will tell you white potatoes you can do 1, 2, or 4. 4 will give you 4 potatoes per square foot will give you smaller potatoes, more like a new potato type of feel. So I split the difference, and I'll be doing three potato plants per square foot. So in this one bale, that gives me 9 potato plants, and in this one as well. And that white kind of ashy material you're seeing on top is just fertilizer that has yet to be watered in. That's not mold or fungus or anything to worry about. That's just a balanced fertilizer. It's a 10-10-10 that is being rained in and watered in. So this is the 50-gallon grow bag where I will be trying the Three Sisters planting. Around the outside here, you can see the zucchini and squash plants, the seedlings that I started in the house. In the center here, you have the one lone corn seedling that started in the house and did well. I've never tried to start corn in the house before. Maybe I did some things wrong. We'll see what happens. We'll try it again next year. In this open center area, there are seeds for corn and also for pole beans. What I will do is put plastic forks with the tines up in this area so that the squirrels and occasionally cats get in, but the squirrels and cats won't be tempted to dig up the garden bed. This is the garden plan for 2022. You can see how I have sketched out my straw bales, right? The live actually matches what's on the paper. And I've planned out what I'm going to put where, even down to the 50-gallon grow bag in the upper right-hand corner. I have the squash, corn, and string beans in there. So now I'm going to transplant the tomato and cucumber seedlings in that left corner. Back there, you see the trellis for the cucumber seedlings. I'm actually going to add additional trellis. So as the tomatoes grow, I have something to fasten them to if I need to. Off camera, I got the tomatoes planted. I have 6 varieties of tomatoes. I don't remember off the top of my head what varieties they were, but when I remember, I'll put that information and where I purchased the seeds in the description notes. But you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tomato plants. I'm going to put the cucumbers in this bale, and actually one over there, so they'll all climb the trellis. And I want you all to see how that's done. When the bale is conditioned, one of the things that happens is that it gets very, very soft to the point where you can pretty much just push it apart in sections. And that's what we're going to do, push it apart in sections and put the seedlings in there. And we're actually going to use the soil that they were grown in to get them started. Some people, after the bale is conditioned, spread manure or soil over the top of the bale and plant their seeds or seedlings in that. And you can absolutely do that. That's just a different way, because I know my bales are thoroughly conditioned and my seedlings are relatively strong. I'm just going to crack open the bale, stick them down inside, and get them started. And so this is the straw bale garden 2022. Up front we have cucumbers and tomatoes. Back here we have corn, pole beans, and squash, and zucchini. We've got strawberries, strawberries and blueberries. One of the peach trees has been moved. The others have insects on them, so I have to get the insects off, and then I'll be moving them into the enclosure. This is the finished result of my garden enclosure for 2022. I have moved the fruit trees in the back. Here you see peach, cherry, apple, 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 peach, peach. Wait, sorry. Peach, peach, apple, 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 cherry, peach. Okay, there we go. In the back there is the 50-gallon grow bag with the corn, squash, and pole beans. You can see I have some additional forks poking out. I've got peanuts over here. I put in melon seedlings over here, peppers this way, and then cucumbers and tomatoes in the back. I've actually got onions buried in there and potatoes in these two back here. These two bales are waiting for sweet potato slips, which should be ready to be out the end of this month. And everything is enclosed in deer net. Got some trellises up in the back there for the cucumbers and tomatoes to be fastened to. May need to put a trellis here for the melons. They are bush melons, so their vines should be shorter, but we'll see how much room they need. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Well, that is the straw bale garden of 2022. There are a few things yet left to do this evening before I tap out and call it a night. I do have to put forks around the newly planted seedlings so squirrels won't get tempted to dig, because squirrels are the devil. And I have to fashion some sort of doorway out of deer net and either zip ties or hose clamps. Don't worry, I can make it work. In general, I need to buy a little more mulch so I can complete the walkways, and from then I think I'll be okay. I'll definitely be posting regular updates so you guys can keep an eye on this experiment and see how it's going. As always, thanks for stopping by. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I have new content. I hope you have a great time in your garden, and I'll see you around.